I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
All right, guys, and welcome back to the new week of the True North Racing Podcast. I'm your host, John Morrison. Joining me, as always, our amazing co-host, Megan Mitchell. I, of course, actually, with Megan being off for last weekend a bit because she was battling something. I'm going to blame you guys for passing that along to me. I didn't think I've seen you guys since.
It was virtual.
It's virtual, yeah. It's through the damn computer screen. Because yesterday I came down with a head cold on my way to Delaware. I kicked around, turned home, and was bedridden myself all day yesterday. Got some terrible and then some really good sleep. It was really weird. Like I was up till 3:00 this morning.
Oh, jeez.
But I slept 10 hours yesterday during the day at one point, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I probably that's a lie, but Friday night I slept like crap. Oh my God. But I'm on the mend. I'm on the up and up. Taking some nasty ass Buckleys.
Yeah.
But you know what they say about Buckleys, right?
Yup.
It tastes awful, but it works. And it's funny because no one in the house here can handle throw up.
Oh yeah.
I'm a father. I can handle that shit now. I can take care of my business. So yesterday I'm taking Buckley's. I think it was yesterday or Friday night or something. And I'm standing in the kitchen. My back's to everyone else. And I hear, the hell hears, what happens if John throws up? Well, he's going to be cleaning it up. I was like, really? None of y'all are going to help me?
You're on your own.
Apparently I'm on my own. But yeah, it was, like I said, I've been taking the original Buckley's. I started off with a nasal congestion on Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and it really kicked it into gear Friday. And I should have stayed home from work on Friday. That's for certain, because it was one of those weird feelings. I don't even know how to describe it. I felt fine, sounded like crap, sounded like this.
Yeah,
but my nose was a lot more stuffed up. I don't know, but I still went to work, battled through. Didn't go to Flamboro because Flamboro can't rained out for the second week in a row. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Then I was going to go to Delaware, and then I got, the head cold really kicked in. I was like, yeah, I'm not going. So I got fully charged GoPros, ready to go. I'm going to go back on the charger for the week. Well, not for the week, but yeah, at least a couple days prior to the weekend. And I may go down to Flamboro on Saturday. I want to make some content before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, Megan, how's your weekend?
Not bad. I mean, it's the first weekend in 2 weeks that I wasn't throwing up, so
that's a plus.
That was good. That made my weekend. So I
mean, that's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
We did see each other 2 weeks ago.
Did we?
Yes, because I was down in Niagara shooting with Jay. Then we stopped by your house because someone decided to drink their Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
Oh yeah, that would have been
because that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was the Sunday that I got sick.
Yeah, we stopped by the Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you messaged me and you're like, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, all right. You take care of yourself.
I was dead.
I blame you now. It's all your fault.
I think we had two totally different things though, because I wasn't a head cold thing. I was straight flu.
Yeah.
Horrible. I mean, all sickness is horrible.
Oh,
Can't stand any of it.
it's it is what it is, right? And unfortunately, we all get sick, and we're not even gonna get into that because that's just gonna get too political. There's gonna be arguments. We're not gonna do that. We don't want that on this show. Um, so Flamboro called practice, and they're now moving back week 1 of the season. What do you think about that? Now, obviously, I know you guys don't have your cars ready, so you guys are going to take the extra time as needed.
I'm not complaining. Like, I feel like that's all we need to have at least two
Another
cars ready.
month?
Yeah, I would say another month for all three of them to be ready.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, Rachel's is pretty well done. There's like a
Yeah.
little more body work to be done. Chase's is about the same. Then it's just painting them, and then mine needs a lot of bars added. So, you know.
It's going to take some time when, it's with you guys, you guys moving and a lot of stuff. It cuts into your time,
Mhm.
right? So at least now it's getting to a point where you guys are going to you guys have the space.
Mhm.
Once the cars are built, the cars are built. The cars are finished.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
And I
it's
mean,
just
it's been my dad, because like I work Monday to Friday.
Yep.
So it's been my dad. Chase also was working Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So it's my dad all week. But Chase has a new job now, and
Nice.
he's not going to be working this week because he starts his new job next week. So that's his plans for the week, is to just bang them
Rash
out.
on the cars.
Yeah.
Okay, so I expect them to be done for next Saturday.
I'm hoping so. Like,
You
at
can
least
tell Chase that I'm expecting them to be done before next Saturday.
He says that his will be ready for opening night.
Of
So
course his will be, because he wants that Sunfire back on track.
that's all he cares about. Like, I mean, the bumper that was on my car is now on, is it, so I think it's on Rachel's car or his car. My car does not have a bumper.
Why does your car not have a bumper?
Because one of them was like totally rotted out shit. So
It's a
they took off.
plastic bumper cover.
Oh no, not the bumper cover, like the
Oh,
actual.
the actual bumper.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I have to pull that off of my old road car because it's a G5. So
Thank God you guys have a parts car.
we'll get there though.
Oh yeah.
I think once they're all painted and stuff, it'll be a little more like, okay, now they're race cars. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm still on the fence of them pushing back the week. Because it raises some questions, especially for someone like, not for myself, because it's not raising questions for me, but it's raising questions among some divisions, like the CVMs, because we do have a lot of nightly sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we haven't even started the season yet. You're already canceling week 1. You're making that a practice night. How does that affect our nightly sponsors? Are you going to give us another night? Are you going to squeeze us into another show? Are we going to have to cancel an entire night? Are we just going to run an 11-night season? Are we like, it's one of those things. It's like, where are we going to, we got questions we need answers to. I talked to a couple guys the other day, especially when they canceled it and they said that May 6th is now going to be practice. I even said, so like, I'm sponsoring the championship night. So I even mentioned, I didn't give an ultimatum, but I gave an option, say like, if we're that concerned, if our first nightly sponsor is Riverside Heating and Air Conditioning, if we're that concerned and we're not getting another night, guess what? Cancel me, put in Riverside.
Right.
I don't need to be a part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a part of the club in a different way. I'm not even a part of the club as Joe Media. I'm a part of the club as John Morrison.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just one of those things that like, I got solutions, but we need to know what the plan is coming from Flamboro, so that we can, the committee can figure out how we're gonna move some stuff around.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't happy when they did that.
And I was say, I feel like I've seen a lot of people that aren't happy about it, and I feel like Flamboro's catching flack for it. And it's like at one side I feel bad because like I feel like they're just trying to figure it out too. But at the same
100%.
time, my other side of it is this happens pretty well every year. Like it's really rainy along around this time
Hold
of
up.
year.
Last year we got very, very lucky. Let's remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Let's remember the CVMs last year, there was no rainouts last year. And there was on 3 occasions, I think, where there should have been a damn rainout.
Even 2021, I don't think there was really
No,
any rainouts.
there
So
wasn't
like
a rainout.
catching
We had caught some
like
really good weather the past 2 years to make up for 2020.
yeah.
And I think because the only tracks that really get rained out, quote unquote, would be the dirt tracks if it rained at noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So like that's the only thing I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I just want to go racing.
Yeah.
I want the season to start. I was like, I'm not saying this because like it sounds bad. Like I'm not even gonna say it because regardless, someone's gonna say, well, you shouldn't be doing that because you got this. Yeah, I probably should. But Megan, I'll tell you after. So that way if you got something to say, you can just say it to my face. I don't need anyone else listening to the show to shit talk me here. But no, I gotta sit down this week. Gotta make some tough choices to figure out what the plan is for next weekend. There's 2 options up in the air. Gotta figure out what's gonna happen now. Because if it was a race, I was gonna go to Flamboro,
Right.
regardless. Now, do I go to make content on Saturday? Or do I go do something else? Like I said, I'll let you know. I'll tell you afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not telling everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Ooh. Did you see what I posted today on social media?
Maybe.
We have so you don't check it enough, do you?
No, I don't.
So I would like to announce that we have 2 new Jomo Media drivers for 2023 that are joining our list. The
Okay,
first one being the number 39 of Brian Batty, an Oscar modified. He's joining Jomo Media this year. Pretty cool deal to be on an Oscar modified. That's our first one. So Brian, thank you. Welcome to the team. I don't even know welcome to the list of drivers. And the other one, this one's actually a kind of cool one. It is a super stock at Delaware Speedway. And he's a rookie in 2023. Mr. Cody Wilds.
Okay, I did see that. I didn't see it on like yours.
You didn't see that one.
But
You didn't see that one. You
Saw it
didn't
on
see
the
that one because I
website.
haven't posted that one yet.
Nope. It's on your website though,
It
because
is
I
on the
saw
website. It is
and
live
I'm
on the
like,
website.
huh. I didn't know this.
Yeah. We need to have like weekly meetings, like or something.
Staff meeting.
Staff meetings every Thursday night. Staff meeting. I just need to get. This week I've been terrible. I don't know what it is. Like, there's times I look at I feel like I'm too like overworked right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've done nothing.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like I've worked every single night this past week,
Mm-hmm.
and I may have gotten 5 things done out of like 20.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know where. I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to message Rachel every Monday to confirm who I have coming on so she can have a few days, which by the way, Rachel, you're killing it on the designs when I finally send you a picture for the video thumbnails. You're kicking ass. You're doing great. I love them. Anyone who can tell mine compared to hers, you can tell why we outsource it, because mine is just a simple design. Megan or Rachel that goes all out. does great work. Actually, she's hosting a hero card giveaway, correct? A free design, is that it?
Yes.
All right. You want to talk about that real quick if you have access to it?
Yes. So I believe she's closing at May 12th. This is the first time we've really done a giveaway like this, so we're still trying to like figure it out. But I think what we're doing now is if you like the page, like the original, well, we're keeping track of like shares too. So like ones that you've shared and stuff. If you like the post, like the page, comment and share it, that's 4 entries for a.
So hold up. So if you like, comment, share, and follow, you get 4 entries. 4 entries.
Yeah. So like if you were to like and comment, that's 2. But you can only comment like once.
Yeah. So 1 comment.
Yeah, max of 4 entries.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we're doing.
Guys, if you're not getting in on this, anyone who's looking for hero cards in 2023, get over to Graphic Design Studio on Facebook right now.
Like I might be biased, but she does a lot of good work. Like I mean, I watch her and the way she puts in the work for this, and like she will sit there and she will tweak these hero cards until they are exactly what you want. Like she'll send it to you, you tell her, hey, I like this, but I don't like this. Could you try this? And she will keep going until you are fully satisfied.
Yep.
So you get a free hero card design. She sends you the file so that you can have it printed wherever you prefer. We push Georgetown Printing.
Oh, we push Georgetown Printing here because they're the official printing sponsor or printing partner of Joe Media Promotions. So, guys, there's 2 great companies that support motorsports: Graphic Design Studio, Georgetown Printing. Graphic is Rachel Mitchell. She's a rookie driver in the pure stock. She's in racing.
Mm-hmm.
She will be racing.
Yeah.
And of course, Georgetown Printing. John's been in racing for 30 plus years.
It's real cool. I love John.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I'm sure I need actually him and he messaged me yesterday. I gotta do some work tonight and throughout the week for Flamboro Speedway. So got a lot to catch up on. But yeah, guys, it's a great deal going on over at Graphic Design Studio. Check him out on Facebook. We're gonna have a link in the description below on YouTube and in the Spotify and all the podcasting channels. There will be the link to Graphic Design Studio plus our post on our website. It'll link it right to the page. You guys can find the post there. Like, share, subscribe, or like, share, comment, follow. That's 4 entries. You have a 4. I don't even know what the odds are. I really don't. But you guys have an opportunity to get a free design. How boggles my mind. This needs to get out more. Anyways, that's gonna get posted tomorrow on Joe Media Promotions Facebook page. Actually, talk about Monday, not Wednesday. Hell, we'll do it on Wednesday as well. So that's awesome. I love that. I think let's get into this week's conversation with Shawn McGlynn, and then we'll wrap it up after.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, this week on the True North Racing Podcast, before we get into our conversation this week with Shawn McGlynn, we are going to have a quick word from our presenting sponsor, Vision 20 Studios. You're diving into Vision 20 Editing. New company with their services providing video editing to get your video perfect and exactly the way you guys are looking for. They also do audio mastering, where they're going to take your audio and make it crisp and clear. They're bringing your vision to life. That is right. At Vision 20 Editing, we want to make sure that your vision comes to life in the way you want it. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Vision 20 Studios. Now let's get back to the True North Racing Podcast. I think that was the quickest Sandra had ever responded back to us there. Oh my goodness. Anyways, guys, welcome back to a new week of the True North Racing Podcast. This week, I realize I'm going into our opening segment there, but we are not right now. We got our guests joining us first. We got Shawn McGlynn. Shawn, man, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. How's your off season been going?
It's good. It's nice to get a break, but I'm kind of itching to get back on the track.
I think all drivers are itching to get back onto the track here. Megan, can you agree with that as well?
I can agree with that.
Obviously with the rain out this past weekend, it was tough to get excited because that's 2 weekends in a row now we've had rain, and we're hoping that's not the storyline going into the season. But man, I'm excited to have Shawn on. I've been watching your race for the past little bit. Whether it be in the pro lates, seeing you in the OSS as well. You've been a guy I've been having on my radar to come on the show for quite some time, and I'm glad we've been able to set this up. And I'm like I said, I'm excited to have you on.
Well, it's good to be here. I haven't been much of a factor in the last few years. When we switched to a late model with a bump stop car, I just haven't had the car dialed in. So mostly just been doing laps trying to figure stuff out. But I think at the end of the year last year, we got McCall to set us up with a new car and a good starting point on the chassis. So the car was fast, and I just had other issues that weren't in line. I had an engine blow up, and I had some brake issues, but we got all that looked after now. So I think we'll start the year fresh and get some testing done, and we'll be on top of things. And this could be a return to running back at the front again, which I've missed.
Absolutely. And with this season, I usually save this question for the end, but you kind of walked me right into this. What are your plans for the 2023 season?
Well, we're going to run the APC series, the full schedule. And then my buddy Stimpy's got a pro late that we race, number 11 car, a yellow and black one that we run at Flamboro or Peterborough or special events, Sunset, stuff like that. So we might take that to the events outside of the APC series and get a few more laps, maybe race for some money. But it's a pretty old car, so we're doing that for fun on a low budget. And as far as the APC series goes, we've got a fairly new McCall car, and then I've got a Dave White performance car coming out. It's brand new and it's just about finished. So we're going to have two decent cars to compete in the APC series with. So if everything goes well and they get them dialed in, you might see my brother in one of the APC races, because Chad's been running the Sportsman series for years and he's winning a lot of races there and running well. So I'd like to see him running in a late model, and I want to compete against him again because it's been a few years.
This has been probably one of the best brother duos have gotten lucky enough to be able to watch, because when you guys race, you guys are really tough competitors. I will say that. I think I hate to bring this up because but it was such a good scene though. In my opinion, I think it was it 2020? Which one of you guys got up on the wall was it 2020 or
Chad? Yeah, Chad got up on the wall in his Sportsman car at Flamboro.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he got up on the wall, right, slid into turn one, and ended up in the corner, stopped up on the wall on his door and had to climb out. So that was pretty scary.
And I still say, like, Megan, I feel like you're gonna be able to chime in on this one. Shawn, you stopped your car pretty quick, and I think you were even the first one to get to him to check on him, if I'm not mistaken. Because he went for a wild ride. Let's be honest. It was anything hard at Flamborough is pretty scary. But what were your emotions kind of feeling like when you saw that?
Yeah, well, I didn't actually see it happen. I think he was right behind me when he went into the wall, and I was racing his backup car just for a one-off thing for that season. So by the time I found out on the radio that he was in the wreck, I was coming around, I guess, for the second time and saw him up on the wall, and it was pretty scary because, these cars are pretty safe, but they're not built to be upside down or on their side. So you never know what's going to happen, and if fuel's leaking out or a fire starts or something. That's my biggest fear. So I was just worried. I wanted to make sure he got out of the car safe before something bad happened, but I was pretty sure he'd be okay. When I got to the car, he said he was okay. So I just backed off and let the safety crew take care of him.
Yeah. I remember seeing you jump out of the car and just run over there. I'm like, That's a good brother right there to go check on him.
Well, it's pretty emotional.
Oh
So,
yeah,
you love your brother, so don't want to see anything happen to him or anybody else out there for that matter. But yeah, it's pretty close to home when it's family.
exactly. And I'm sure Megan, you'd probably do the same thing, eh?
Yeah, that's my biggest fear with racing with my siblings. I don't want to have to do that, but you know.
Uh,
It's
which
in the past now, though. It's just a racing incident.
exactly.
But I've been lucky. I've never been up on my roof or anything, so
Well, better
that's
knock on
something
wood there.
I'm happy to have had avoided. But you never know when that can happen. I've been
Eh,
into the wall hard, but never upside down. So that's some guys out there. They've done it. They've been there, and I imagine it was pretty scary at the time. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes.
No, absolutely. But we want to get to know more about you. Obviously, that's what our whole show's about. We want to know more about the driver, kind of unhelmet the drivers per se, so that we get to know a little bit more about them because we I feel like no one talks about drivers a lot anymore, and it's all about the tracks and stuff like that. So Shawn, how did you get started in racing? Take us all the way back to the beginning here.
Okay, well, I'm probably one of the oldest drivers in the APC series. I was born in '69, so I started off going to the track with my dad in the '80s, and he raced I think in '69 it was his first oval track race. He ran at Flamboro, and he won that season, so that was pretty cool. I was just a baby or like a few months old at the time, so obviously I don't remember it, but that's what I hear unless he's telling stories. But I've seen pictures. So he's got a lot of checkered flags from back in the early '70s, and then it got too expensive for him with me being a baby, and my sister was born, and a couple of kids. Chad wasn't born yet, but I think he was on the way, and my dad figured it was just too much. Takes too much time, too much money, so he got out of it for a couple of years, and then when he was approached by a guy named Bob Vale, who incidentally his son races a truck at Full Throttle Motor Speedway now. Bob came to him and said, "We're racing a Ford," and I think he was running an old Cougar, like a '69 Cougar or something at the time, and in like the street stalker class. And I think he asked my dad if he would help him out with an engine or something. And long story short, they ended up with a '69 Mustang and went out and won a whole bunch of races around Flamboro and Sauble and Varney at the time, Full Throttle Motor Speedway. And then that was early '80s, I guess. So I was like 10, 11, 12, whatever. And I started learning the ropes a little bit and kind of got the bug for it and was hoping when I turned 16 that I'd get in a car. So after a few years of Bob racing the car, Ken McElroy started to drive for us. And I guess that was like mid '80s. Kenny was winning a lot of races, and I think he was racing against guys like Andy Schmidt and Ron Lipsky and Pete Shepard, not Petey the third, but the second, Petey the second. So they ran a lot of races against each other, and it was pretty good competition back then. They were running at the front, and I was just dying to get in a car, and I was about 16 around there, and my dad said, "Well, you're going to get in the car next year. We're going to build a new one for Ken, and you're going to get the old one." And it was no sooner he said that than Ken got into the wall at Sauble Speedway and destroyed the car. So the new car became the only car, and I didn't get a chance to drive then for a couple more years. So then I think what happened, Ken ended up wanting to spend more time with the family or something like that. So he wasn't going to drive for us. And I was 18, and Dad said, "Well, it looks like Ken's not driving." And by that time we had another new car coming. So new to us, or back then you built them yourselves. They were just street cars ripped apart and a little modification done to them. So the newest car at the time was an actual frame built race car, like a 2x3 frame. It wasn't a stock car like we used to have. And it was I think the old car at the time was a Ford Granada. So my dad said, which car do you want to drive this summer?" And I took the old one because I thought, well, if I'm going to smash one up or learn to drive, I better do it in the junky one. So I took the Granada out and I started racing at Flamboro. That was in 1987. And a few races in, I ended up getting a heat race win, and that was really exciting. That pumped me right up. And then I think we ran that car that year, and then the next year I got the newer car, which was a real race car, and like a purpose-built race car, I mean.
Yeah.
And raced that for a couple of years, and then I started getting tired of the short Saturday night races they were having at Flamboro because I think there were 30 lap features, and it's over so quick. It was fun, but if you got a flat, they didn't have a pit entry back then.
Yeah.
You had to open the gate to get into the pits, and you couldn't change a tire during the race. So if you got a flat on lap 2, you were sitting watching. You didn't get many laps that night. So at the time, CASCAR was growing and was really getting big, and it was on TSN. And I said to my dad, "Why don't we get a CASCAR?" And not knowing the value of money back then, my dad's like shaking his head, going, "Oh my God, like what's this guy thinking?" But a little while later, my dad takes me to London, and we end up buying one of Mo Burner's CASCAR cars, and we took it back to the shop, and I think we put a Ford body on it. And the next year we were racing CASCAR. So I think that was 1991, and we raced CASCAR ran the Super Series, traveled around Ontario, even went out to Calgary and raced out there. I got to start on the pole in Calgary at Race City Speedway for a 300 lapper. That one I was driving Dave Mather's Ford Thunderbird. Dave Mathers was the Motion Lincoln Mercury Ford dealer in London. He's pretty well known for that. I think he was running St. Thomas Dragway for a few years too. And anyway, Dave was a great guy. He let me drive his car, and Paul was his oldest son. He drove the other car, so I got to race against Paul. So that was fun. Then when we came back to Ontario, I was still racing my cars for a few years, and just kind of kept racing CASCAR till about 98, I think. And then I took maybe 2 years off from racing, and then got back into the CASCAR Sportsman, which was like it's the same as the Ontario Sportsman Series is now, basically.
Okay.
So we ran that for a few years, and then stumbled on some setup things that made the car like pretty much unstoppable. And we won a few championships and a lot of races. And then I think in about 2014, Dave Wood from Kitchener was a Meineke car care owner. He came to me and said, "We're running a late model. We're wondering if you want to drive it at Flamboro." So I showed up to the track one night at the end of the season, raced their car. I think we finished 5th or 6th. And he was pretty happy. He said, "What about racing next year? They're going to start an APC series. You want to race my car?" And I was like, "Man, this sounds pretty awesome." So we went at it and ran for 4 or 5 years together. And actually we had some good seasons together. We had I think 2019, I think we had like a whole bunch of top 10s and a couple of top 5s, and we finished in the top 10 in points. Had a good year. But then after Dave and I parted ways, I just didn't get any better, and the other cars did. And I thought after a few years, man, it's time to get an updated car. We need something newer to compete at the front again. So a year ago, I bought a brand new McCall car, and that thing's a rocket. So we should be running at the front now.
That's awesome to hear. Like, I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know I knew you've raced for a long time, but I obviously didn't know the extent of it. So hearing that you rose up through the ranks, and I love how you even said, that you went to your dad and was like, "Let's go run CASCAR," and just like all of us, we all have that dream of wanting to run a specific series, I guess you could say, or just a Canadian series. And of course, you stumble across CASCAR, and you're like, "Let's go run that." As even though your mindset was like, "Yeah, we can do this," and your dad was probably like, "No, the hell we can't." You guys were still able to get that. So I think that is cool that you have, you were it's what you almost live the racing dream, in my opinion. You raced your way up through the ranks. You got into into the biggest national level motorsports in Canada in GasCar, and raced that for what, about 7-8 years ish.
Well, from 91 to 98.
So
Yeah. And then in
7 years, yeah.
in the 2000s, I ran a few races with Jim Bray's team, and
Yep.
I raced at I got to race. I did live the dream. I got to race at the Toronto Molson Indy and Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal.
Oh.
These are tracks that, and at the time I was like road course racing, no interest. Then I got to drive it. And once I was on the track and Mossport, man, it was like, this is so much fun to jam the gears and go up and down through the gears, well, locking the wheels up, and oh my god, it was just amazing experience. Had a lot of fun.
Now, see, that's the thing is I've never been a fan of road courses, as well, but like Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, love it. I'm sorry, but the Pinty, like the Canadian Tire Series at the time, the Busch Series, they put on a hell of a show as
Oh
Circuit
yeah,
Gilles Villeneuve. Some of the greatest finishes, I believe, in Canadian Tire history have happened at that track. Same with Trois Rivières. But it's great to hear that you had no interest in road course racing. You got to try, and you're like, this is awesome. And
yeah. As a driver, it's amazing.
as a spectator, sometimes it can look a little weird, but again, we don't always see what you guys are seeing behind the wheel.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Like,
a big difference. Like the crew, they're sitting watching you go zinging by for like
yeah,
2 seconds. So it's not much fun for the team, but man, I'm telling you, it's as much or more fun than racing on an oval. But I still, as much fun as I had doing it, because I don't have as much experience in it, I don't feel like I would be as competitive there. So I
yeah,
still have a love for oval track asphalt racing. That's where I want to be. I don't have a dirt track interest, and I'd like to try it someday, but it's not my thing. I love what I do. And the late models, the reason I went to that division is because we were winning all kinds of races in the Ontario Sportsman Series, and I wanted more of a challenge, and I certainly got it. So this APC series has drivers that are like some serious top-notch drivers, and I watch a lot of racing, late model racing down south, and all through the United States, California, all over, and all that racing is like primo to watch. It's competitive, and when you look at the events we have here with our class of drivers and the cars and the quality of the cars and the money that's spent, and there's talent here in Canada, and G-Force TV puts it on like no other. It's just like watching a race on TSN. Like they do a phenomenal job. So this racing in Ontario is just as good as anything you're going to do down south.
well, it's funny how you mentioned how like G-Force, it brings a lot to it. It's kind of funny because like G-Force, a lot of times the same guys who also do the Pinty's broadcast as well, right? With especially like the live with Adam Ross doing the crossover and stuff like that with the
Yeah.
announcing. But no, you're right. G-Force brings a level of, I don't even know how to put it. They bring another level of excitement to short track racing in Ontario, and it's evident because I'm so thankful that I live in Brampton, okay? I am
Yeah.
so thankful that Rogers TV and G-Force both have joined racetracks, as obviously G-Force was already with Oshwegan, but to come on board to broadcast those races and give us a full analysis of the tracks, because now I can sit in Brampton. I don't even have to travel that far on a Friday night because Oshwegan's more doable for me compared to Delaware. I'd have to still leave like early from work, but it's great the content that they are putting out for us, and
Yeah, it
that
is.
there's people in Australia and in Europe and stuff who are probably watching these shows going, man, those are some really good racers in Canada.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
And
it's great quality racing.
it's great when our guys can go south too and put on a good show.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you're going to see because of the money they pay down there and the prestige for these big races like the Snowball Derby and stuff like going to Speed Week. It doesn't pay anything, but it's fun to go down and race, 6 nights in a row. I think that what we're seeing with the APC series, there's so many like top-notch drivers and great equipment. I think you're going to start seeing more guys travel down south, and you're going to see them running in the front too, because they're like our top running guys here are no slouch. They're capable of running with the best of them down there. So yeah, hopefully we see more of our guys taking trips down there.
And we've already seen that with Dave White from White Motorsports there taking Train Lapsevich down in the pro late a couple years ago to run the Snowflake. And then who else? He took Brendan Watson in the super late race, and last year he went down with Glenn Stiers.
Yeah.
I don't think they took a super late down last year, did they?
No, it was a pro late.
It was just the pro late with Glenn Stiers, right?
I think so, yeah. And then like McCall's taken guys down there over the years, and they've run well. Like I'm not sure. I think Brandon Watson ran McCall car down there and ran really well too. So yeah, there's you can see our guys are no slouch, and you start putting the numbers together. They're going to a track you've never been to before, and they're running decent. So you start putting a few more guys together and getting a little more research and some teamwork, sharing some information, what they learned the last time they were there, or if they can be lucky enough to get down and get some test time ahead of time. We'll have some Canadian guys running at the front, like what's the guy's name from out east?
Cole Butcher.
Yeah, Cole Butcher. He's running great. He's a front running guy.
Yeah.
He's a Canadian, so it's nice to see some Canadian faces down there running well. And I think you're going to see some more Ontario guys running down there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see like a nice contingency of Canadian cars, like especially Ontario, because I find not a lot of guys go down each year, but we, like you said, we have some guys who have great programs, but I think it's also trying to get the funding for those programs because again, we run 6 months of a year, if that. We're lucky to. Whereas down in the States, they can go for 10, 11 months, even Florida, they can go all year round. There's no question. But for us guys up here, it's just trying to get that funding to go.
Well, like a lot of our top running APC guys, they own their cars, they own a business, they're paying the shot, or if they're not, they have a sponsor that's helping out, but they're capable of doing it on their own wallet anyway. So
yeah,
I think what I'd love to see is get 3 or 4 teams together to say, okay, let's all go down to this event and work together and see if we can head down there like a couple weeks in advance or whatever and get some laps, some practice laps, get the cars dialed in, and then come race day we all share some information. We can work as a group and maybe show the way.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see White Motorsports and Mike McCall, take, like you said, take 3 or 4 cars, whatever, go down there and find out what you can and have some fun. And that's the whole thing, is try to have some fun and show everyone else that what us Canadians can do as race car drivers.
Yeah, for sure.
With that being said, we're talking about, I hate to, like, we're just kind of jumping around everywhere right now, but it's just one of those things that we get on a topic and it's just fun to talk about. With that being said, moving forward, what are some things you're looking forward to this year in the APC series?
Well, this year I'm going to put an effort in like I did like 10 years ago when we were running strong. It takes preparation, it takes testing time, and you really have to dedicate yourself to run at the front. And I haven't been doing that the last few years. I kind of show up just last minute and hope for the best, or even when we tested, we weren't prepared or didn't try enough things or whatever. But now I got newer equipment, so the equipment is taking away the excuse. So if I put the time in, we'll have fast cars. So my plans this year are to get a win in the APC series and run at the front. So if we can accomplish running in the top 5 for a few races and have some strong finishes like that, that'll be a step in the right direction, and then maybe we can grow from there.
That's awesome. You were talking about with the challenges that with the Ontario Sportsman Series, you kind of said it yourself there that you you guys were very dominant, and it wasn't very much of a challenge, which is why you moved over to the APC series or to run late models in general. What's been the biggest noticeable change that you found running from the OSS to running a late model?
Well, in the APC series specifically, there's so many cars that are capable of winning. When I ran the OSS, there were probably 4 guys did all the winning. So you only had 3 other cars to compete with, really. Like, you try not to crash and beat 3 fast cars, really. So now, I mean, there are legitimately 20 guys that could win a race in the APC series. That's a lot of competition.
Oh
So
yeah.
you can be the fastest car out there, and you're not necessarily getting the win that night because like there's so much attrition, cars getting into each other, and they race so aggressive from like lap 1 to lap 100. So you can be the fastest car out there and get spun out on lap 2. Like there's just so much aggression, and nobody gives an inch. So it's competitive, it's exciting, it's something to watch, and it's really something to be a part of.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about the series is like and on any given night, if you're a good car and you can start near the front, you're gonna be obviously you put yourself in a really good position. But
Yeah, it helps to start at the front for sure.
you're absolutely correct. They don't do like a pill draw anymore to invert the top 10, do they?
I think they invert a few. I'm pretty sure they've still been inverting. I haven't been in the top 5 for so long. I don't know what they're doing now. Hopefully, we'll find out this year.
Uh, yeah, I can't remember. Again, it's been I'm usually at the track when the APC races are going on,
Yeah,
so I can never remember. And of course when I get home, I start watching. I skip all the way to the feature races. I don't. They cover qualifying and everything. I was like, just let me get to the race. I just want to watch the 100 laps.
I like watching the qualifying too, but yeah, I get it. The excitement's in the race, and I think they what they're doing is something to do with the points. If say you're leading the points, then I think you start 10th in the race or something like that. So regardless of where you qualify, even if you're fastest qualifier, I think you still end up 10th. But I don't know for sure. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm. It's going to be a great season. Honestly, it's got what 10 races.
Yeah, and there's some new guys in the series too, like new pro late guys, and they're bringing in good equipment too. So we might have some surprise winners this year.
I'm always looking forward to the one at Peterborough.
Yeah, that one's exciting.
It's such a tough little track, and it's got a lot of character, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure it does. It's a hard track to drive. Like you have to know the track, or you got to be pretty versatile driver to be able to get out of those corners without spinning the tires, and you really pile it in there hard. So there's no backing the corner up and easing it in, and it's all out racing at that track. If you try to back up the corner, you're getting spun out.
So with the changes to the laps for the 2023 season, which event is it that you're looking forward to running?
I always like the long races, but so in one way, I'm looking forward to we're running what, a 200 lap race at Delaware.
Yep.
So that's going to be great because that's back like we ran 300 lap races when we ran cast cars. So it's pretty cool. But on the other hand, I'm 53 or 4 years old, whatever I'm, and the long races are a little hard to keep up at the end. I think my body can't take it. I might have to hit the gym pretty hard this year.
That's always that's the one thing I've been begging for recently. Like the 100 laps are cool and all. Do not get me wrong, but we know these cars, these motors, and everything can all last 100 laps.
Yeah.
We know they can last 100 laps one straight shot. We know that. I miss when it was the Great Canadian 300. When the late models were running 300 laps there, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
I was a part of, well, I wasn't a part of the team at that year, but in 2008, when David Elliott finished second to Ron Sheridan, in the race, I miss the long races like that. If you want a prestigious event, you make it a prestigious event. And I think that's what APC did this year. The United Racing Series did this year with that class. And adding 100 laps, I think, is a step in the right direction. It should make some for some really good racing, and obviously it's going to put some pit strategy into you guys' minds, right?
Yeah, I think it was a great move too, because like you said, the long races make it so unique. It's going to bring a lot of fans out and a lot of interest. And one thing that's great about those long races is the tire fall off. So you see a car that's dominating early in the race and maybe he had a little too much camber in the car and he's burning off the inside edge. And by the end, he's running 15th. So it's pretty cool to see how the drivers can adapt to the tire fall off and how the setup guys can get their cars to be there at the end. So it's going to add a lot of strategy and a lot of excitement and a lot of drama to the end of the race, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, do you think you guys are going to get an extra set of tires or right side tires, or do you guys?
I didn't look into it. We're probably like our tires will go 200 laps, but they'll probably be pretty shot by the end. But
no tires then. Just let them go.
Let's just
only.
make us stay on the same tires we start the race. I'd like to see that, because at the end, then it's going to be the guy that just stayed on the lead lap with a really fast car but wasn't pushing it.
Yep.
He'll be the guy at the end that probably just destroys the competition.
You got to be there at the end of the 200. That's all you got to be, right?
Yeah.
I would think. Okay, so I know we like I said, we don't want to take too much of your time tonight, so we're gonna jump into our fan question period tonight. Where, as you saw earlier today, we put it on social media that you're joining us, and we got a couple questions for you. You ready to answer them?
Sure.
All right, Megan, take it away.
William _ Trillium asked, "What is your favorite car to race?"
Like at this point, I think the Prolate's my favorite. It was fun to take a car down to New Smyrna with a super late motor in it. So basically the same car I'm racing in the APC series, but with another 200 horsepower. That was pretty much the most exciting. In the States, they call those a super late model. Here we don't really have them in Ontario. We have Oscar Outlaws. That's a similar car, but not with the ABC body. The Outlaws have the Outlaw body on them. So pretty much like an Oscar super late. That's what I ran in Florida, and that was fun to have that kind of power under my seat. But I also ran Pro 4s at Flamboro for the Hodgkinson family, and they had a whole bunch of those cars, and I got to drive 3 or 4 of them. And they were not very much power, but the power to weight ratio was good. And the tires they had on them were, I think, an 8-inch wide slick, and they gripped pretty good. So that was a lot of fun to drive too. It was pretty exciting. It's like handled kind of like a go-kart. So if I can get my APC car to handle like that this year, that'd be nice, because it's fun to drive and you get a lot of corner speed. So, but I love the APC car just because they're a handful to drive, but yet the competition is like fierce, and I just want to be where there's a lot of competition, and there's no place like that except for the APC series in Ontario, I don't think. So that's where I want to drive where it's tough to win.
Mm-hmm. And Cam K. Harris said, "I'd love to hear about his time in the OSS as the runner-up in the most championships and wins."
Oh, well, I think my first championship was in 2006 when it was still CASCAR. It was the last year of the CASCAR Sportsman Series, and we were racing at Kawartha Speedway, and it was the final race of the year, and I think I was in second in points, and I had to lead the most laps and win the race to take the championship away from Verhoeven. And we ended up doing it that day, and I think I had the lead in the beginning, and then I lost the lead, and they were pulling away on me, the first and second car. And I thought, well, I guess that's our championship gone. But I never gave up as a driver. I always wanted, you always hope for somebody having attrition ahead of you, or you just don't give up. And all of a sudden, I noticed that they started to slow down, and late in the race, or about midpoint in the race, I ended up taking the lead back, and I won that race and won the championship. And that was like a highlight because that was my first championship. So that started off the ball rolling. Then we started winning championships every couple of years. We won the Sportsman Series championship for a few years, and that's nice to have those championships under your belt, and the wins we had and dominance we had and competition we had against Steve Robley, I think, was one of our top competitors at the time. We had a lot of fierce battles, and anyway, it was a lot of fun to get those championships.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever says anything bad about winning a championship.
No, I guess not.
Shawn, thank you for answering those questions. For anyone, make sure you guys stay tuned every Sunday to find out who's going to be our next guest on the program, and then you guys can submit your questions right there on our posts up on social media. So stay tuned to Joe Media on Facebook, Instagram to find out who our next week's guest will be. As we move through the show here, like I said, we're not trying to kick you off here, but I know you're a busy man tonight, so we don't want to hold you up too much longer. We're going to give you the next couple of minutes here to thank anyone from your first dog when you were 2 years old to your grandma to your best friend who was your second cousin twice removed. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, you have the floor for the next 2 minutes. So rattle them off and thank them all.
Okay, well, most recently we've had Precision Resources Metal Refinishing in Cambridge and Latham Manufacturing in Cambridge. They've been helping us out. They throw a little money our way every year, and it's appreciated. They cover us a drum of fuel and a set of tires, so that's nice to help us get things rolling. And I got to thank my dad for all the years of help. He's still building my brother's engines and maintaining the cars, and he was just at the track with Chad helping him out at Delaware on Saturday. And my brother's been there whenever I need him. He comes out and helps out, and that's got to thank him for that. And other than that, I guess it's pretty much you just you got to put a whole lot of work into making a car run at the front, and it takes a lot of dedication and time. And thanks to all the people I've put to the side and sacrificed family time for to go to the races instead. And I appreciate them letting me do what I love and not begrudging me for it.
All right, that's awesome to hear, man. We want to thank you for joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast. I do want to get you back on when we have a little bit more time to really dive in to a lot more about because you got an exciting history. And we learned a lot about it tonight, really briefly, but I got to get you back on. Maybe next off season we'll talk again.
Well, hopefully we run good enough this season. You'll want to talk to me in the mid-season.
Exactly. You never know. My schedule's booked till July right now, so who knows where we'll be by August. So if you ever want to come back on, you're more than welcome. Just shoot me a message and be like, hey, if you don't have anyone this week, let me know. I'll come on. All right.
Yeah, sure. And I gotta thank Stimpy. He's put a lot of work in there on our race cars and keeping me on the track and there every week when I didn't have time and I was working, didn't have time to get the car ready. Stimpy's out there in the shop getting it done, and a few more of our guys, Jeff and Murray and Jason and Tyler, and there's been help over the years. I got to thank all those pit crew guys that stuck by me for those years, Jay and the rest of the gang.
Absolutely. Well, Shawn, thank you so much again for joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast. It's been a blast having you. Go enjoy the rest of your night, man. All right.
Right on. And thanks for what you're doing. It's good. It's promoting racing. Anything that does that, I got your back. So
awesome. That's good to hear. Well, thank you so much, man, for taking some time tonight.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll catch you later. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And we're back from our conversation with Shawn McGlynn. Of course, we want to thank Shawn for joining us this week, as we do all our guests, because without them, we don't have a show. To be fair, we do have a show.
I was gonna say we could.
We would have a very messed up kind of show, but we have a show nonetheless.
Might not be racing related, perhaps.
Maybe not racing related, but
you want to hear about chickens and ducks and stuff?
We can't talk about that here. That's an X-rated. That's a different name. That's a different entity. That's not even related to us at all. If I was to talk about that, oh my god, that I couldn't believe your guys' faces when I brought that up. Like realistically, okay, let's be honest here. You've known me now for over 2 years.
Yeah.
First of all, it's I'm surprised you still have put up with my ass for 2 years.
I stay for Jacqueline.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm kidding. I love you.
Fair
both.
enough. I know Jacqueline's the better one of the two of us. I completely understand. Trust me, everyone loves her. They don't love me. I get it.
I love you both.
She's more tolerable than me. I get it. Because if I go off the rails, there's no holding back. Oh boy. But yeah, we'd have a show, just not racing related and different entity altogether.
Yeah.
And that one, I don't know how. I don't know. Jacqueline keeps telling me she wants to do a haunted podcast.
I do that.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I'd be scared, but
like a serial killer in Canada kind of thing.
okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, did I tell you where we went the other week? No, I guess I didn't. Screaming Tunnel.
Oh.
We found the Screaming Tunnel the other week. So, do you know the history of it or no?
Not a lot.
Okay, so there's like 3 different stories, but they all end up the same way essentially.
Right.
Is that there's a tunnel, it's literally just off the QEW heading towards Niagara. It's like,
Okay.
you know the outlet mall?
Yeah.
In there? Or St. Catherine, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So as you go, you got that runoff to go to the other highway that takes you to the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge, right? And if you go past that and you go around the QEW, you kind of go around a bend, right?
Mhm.
Off in the corner, on a side street up there, there is a tunnel. In that tunnel, back in the 1800s, I believe it was, there was a little girl who, again, this is where 3 different stories combined, they all come in the same way, is that in that tunnel is where she perished and she burned alive. So one of the stories is that her dad or her stepfather, something like that, set her ablaze, or she was involved in a house fire that her father started. She caught fire, ran, where she ultimately perished in the tunnel. Another one, same deal. She was trying to leave. The father caught her, set her on fire in the tunnel. So the story is that at midnight, roughly in the middle of the night, if you were to go in there, light a match or set a spark a blaze,
Mhm.
the fire would go out and you hear a high pitched whelm, like a high pitched scream,
Jeez.
and like you'd see like a figure right in your face.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, thank you.
Now, when we went, it was daytime.
Mhm.
I could do scary stuff, but not the nights. No, I can do on ghost walks. Let me have other people, so if I need to get away, I'm gonna trip someone up so I can keep running.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person, because between Jacqueline and myself, I guarantee I'm gonna be the slower one.
Mhm.
I hold a little bit more weight than she does. So I know if I get into the, if something like that happens, I can't. Who's gonna trip who first? If there's a lot
Yeah.
of people, find another slow person, push them down. I can keep going. Right? It's a win-win. But yeah, no, it was actually pretty cool. But the weird part about it was, though, it was calm wind outside.
Yeah.
I walked in about 10 feet. Holy crap, this wind. Whew. It was something weird.
That would be really creepy.
You know what? Next time, like I said, you want to do a ghost walk, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we got to plan one.
Mhm.
We'll go when it's daytime, and we'll go show you the Screaming Tunnel, and so you can see what we're talking about, because that was such an eerie feeling. Jacqueline couldn't force herself to walk further.
Saying Jacqueline, like, she's like sensitive to that kind of stuff. Like, she feels it.
Oh yeah, trust me. There's times I laugh at her sometimes. Like, we've told you about the fog going down by the fort, right?
Yeah.
So the story goes is Jacqueline seen fog crossing the road down by Fort George. She goes, "John, slow down, it's foggy." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? It's not foggy." And me being the asshole I am, I actually leaned over to the passenger side of the car, and I'm like, "Nope, your side of the window's clear. It's all good." But yeah, I'm a bit of a dick sometimes. But yeah, it is a really cool feeling. There's another tunnel, but like it's harder to access.
Right.
And it's called the Blue Ghost Tunnel. Now that one's pretty cool, but the problem is, it's like I said, it's hard to get to there. Different roads, and it's behind the GM plant that's over there, so it's a little harder to get over there, right?
Yeah.
Two trains collided in that one, and a lot of workers died while that tunnel was being built. So like, if you were to look inside at nighttime or whatever, you would see blue speckles just floating. So the story is that those are the people who perished and were working on it or in the train accident.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like all that stuff, but I don't think I could talk about it. I think I could just be a producer on it. So who knows? Maybe we'll just start another podcast. I don't know.
Because our hands aren't already full. But like, we can
maybe
pull it off.
I just need to invest more money to hopefully make more money so I can do this full time.
That'd be so cool.
And then that's all we do. Oh my god, that'd be a lot of fun. Let's get back on the racing subject here before we continue going on to the spookiness. Megan, where will they find you at Flamboro Speedway this coming weekend? May 6th, May 5th, whatever, May 6th.
More than likely. Not with a car, but I'll be
there
there.
to support.
Exactly.
That's my possible plan. Don't know what I'm doing yet. My plan will be announced Thursday or Friday, probably. I'm sitting down this week trying to figure out what. Like I said, I got two options. We'll talk about it after, and I'll tell you what I mean. Other than that, guys, I think that's going to do it for us this week for episode 94 of the True North Racing Podcast. We want to thank all of our everyone who supports us, from you the listeners to our supporters. We got Georgetown Printing, we got Vision 20 Studios, we have Tailored to You Media, we got Lift the Visor, we got Driver Cal, we got Claude Haggerty, sponsor guru, Andrea Ballaston, financial assistance. I feel like I'm missing someone.
Graphic designs.
Graphic design. She's like number one on the list too. Like, oh my god. And you know what? I'm gonna add Jason Wilds of Wilds Printing to that list as well. He did our stickers he did our stickers for this year. So if you need a Jomo Media sticker, if you are one of our drivers, I'll be contacting you this week to mail out your stickers. No, I'm not mailing you yours, Megan. I'll see you soon enough. You can get yours then.
I'll just see. Yeah, we might still have some left over.
You might still have some left over.
Yeah, because I think my mom bought a bunch last year, and then
your dad bought 4.
Okay, so we should have 2 left.
I guess we'll find out. You guys still need others for the other cars.
Yeah. We need 6.
Exactly. I gotta send some. So if you would like to buy a sticker, let me know. I'll see what quantity we have left over once I ship all ours out. If you would like a Jomo Media sticker to help support the show and the program, contact me and I will get you out a sticker. I think I might sell. I'll sell them for $5. The biggest ones we got, they'll be $5 each. $3 for our smaller ones if I have any left over of those ones. But yeah, contact us today if you guys would like a Jomo Media sticker. Help support the show. You probably haven't seen it, but while I'm waiting for Jomo Media shirts to come in, there is another place you can get Jomo Media t-shirts. They are up now on the Epic Racewear website.
Okay.
So if you do not want to wait any longer for our Jomo Media t-shirts to come on in, you guys can head over to epicracewear.ca. We have the link somewhere. I'll probably put it up on the website here this week, and it'll be down in the description on Facebook or on YouTube. Pick yourself up a Jomo Media t-shirt. Help support the show. I'm probably gonna put an order in to grab some of those t-shirts. I got to get another order in with someone else. There's a lot of orders I need to put in right now. But we're gonna get some t-shirts soon. I'm sorry for everyone who's waiting. I know you guys have all been patient. Just trying to get final numbers and stuff ready to be able to put in an order. Other than that, I think that's it for us this week. What do you say, Megan?
I think so.
All right. Why don't you take it away for us then? Let's send us home.
Oh boy, it's been a while.
2 weeks.
Alrighty. Thank you for listening to the True North Racing podcast. You can stay up to date with everything Jomo Media and True North Racing podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Are you on
And our
Twitter?
website.
And the website.
We're on Twitter. I just don't use it.
I don't think anybody does.
There's a lot of people that still do. I don't know what it is. I just can't get everything I need to said into it. So yeah, it is what it is.
But yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there.
You can stay up to date. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for all of our latest content. For John Morrison, I'm Megan Mitchell, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
See yas.
The car zooming by, hey, True North Racing, let's go.